Hello and welcome to the Samsung CJ79 Thunderbolt 3 QLED Curved Monitor review. Today I'll be narrating my whole experience with it. I'll be pointing out the good, the bad, and everything else you need to be aware of before you purchase it. So let's begin. The monitor comes in a much larger package when compared to other monitors I've used. It weighs about 8 kilograms. Upon arrival, the monitor came with a Thunderbolt 3 cable right out of the box. It also came with a wall mount, but it did not come with any instruction manual whatsoever. So I had to download an e-manual from Samsung's website. So if you end up purchasing this, you'll have to download an e-manual. I must point out that the adapter that came with this monitor is the biggest and heaviest I've ever seen on any gadget. It measures about 6.8 inches in length, 3.5 inches in width, and about 1.5 inches in thickness. Anyway, setting it up was pretty straightforward for me as it was already put together right out of the box. All I needed to do was connect the Thunderbolt cable from the monitor to my computer and then the power cable to the monitor, and I was good to go. The styling of the monitor looks gorgeous with a slightly aggressive 1500R curvature for a better immersive viewing experience, especially when gaming. Although I've been using it mostly for video editing, it also got very thin bezels around the sides, which gives it a very modern look. Another thing I have to praise the CJ79 for is its built-in cable management system. That really went a long way in keeping my whole desk area clean and free of cable clutter. I just wish the build quality was a little bit more sturdy. It feels a little bit too plasticky, but overall it still looks quite gorgeous. Navigating through the menus is pretty easy, using the joystick located behind the right hand corner of the monitor. First of all, you can push the joystick right or left to quickly adjust the volume. Pull it downwards to access brief menus for making quick adjustments to saver mode, brightness, and contrast. Press it inwards to have access to the full menu. From here you can pull it downwards to power off, and then tap left to select and switch between input sources. And then you can tap right to turn on or toggle between picture-in-picture or picture-by-picture mode. Push the joystick upwards to access the main menu, where you can select and adjust every system settings for the monitor. Coming to specs, it's equipped with a QLED display at 3440 by 1440p resolution with 4 milliseconds response time, and according to Samsung, this monitor can cover up to 125% sRGB color space. I am using the 2017 MacBook Pro 15 and I have my resolution set to 1440p at 100Hz. You have the option to use 1080p resolution as well. Every application that I've used so far looks well scaled without any compatibility issues whatsoever. This monitor is Windows 10 and Samsung DeX compatible. You can also use it with PS4 and Xbox One via the HDMI ports. For connectivity, there is a headphone jack, 2 standard USB 3.0 ports, 1 display port, 1 HDMI port, and 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. The ports seem compatible with variety of accessories that I've tried plugging in, ranging from external hard drives to keyboards and mouse. One thing I noticed is that whenever I plug in my hard drive into the USB port at the back of the monitor, for some reason the USB cable gets quite uncomfortably hot, especially at the top part. I just don't know why. Thunderbolt 3 ports has been an absolute lifesaver, as my desk is now completely free of multiple cable connections because I used just a single cable to connect the monitor to my Mac. That single cable carries audio, video, and data at the same time while charging my Mac as well. It's got a natural color profile right out of the box, which is really ideal for video editing. Contrast levels are great with deep blacks. Colors appear punchy and vibrant, but the overall color profile looks flat and less saturated. I also have to point out that there is no backlight bleed from any corners of this monitor, which I'm very happy about. For adjustments, you've only got 2 adjustments on this monitor. You've got the height and tilt adjustment. There is no rotation whatsoever. I really wish it had that. I also wish it could allow a little higher height adjustment, as the highest height seems not just enough for me. The monitor has a unique height adjustment that is built into the back of the monitor rather than the stand. So even when the monitor is mounted to a wall through the supplied bracket, the monitor is still going to be height adjustable. So you have to bear that in mind. It has a quite big round stand to keep it firm and stable, although there is a slight wobble when you tap on either sides at the top of the monitor, which is expected from a monitor of this size. I wish the base could serve as a wireless charging surface for smartphones and other devices, as that would have been a really good use of it. One thing I have to point out about the display is that it's a bit too bright for me, even at its lowest setting in a dark room. But all the same, I'll say better too bright than not bright enough. You also have to take note, this is a VA panel, so viewing angles and color reproduction is pretty close to what you get on an IPS panel. But when viewing at an angle above 45 degrees from the middle of each screen, the colors may appear a bit washed out, but still remains bright and visible. No HDR support on this monitor, but I personally don't see that as a deal breaker, but for some of you it may be, so you have to bear that in mind. So far I've not seen any flickering or dead pixels whatsoever on my unit. This monitor is equipped with FreeSync feature, but there is no G-Sync, so those using an AMD graphics card will definitely benefit from the FreeSync feature. For video editing, this does a pretty good job, as I mentioned that it's got pretty accurate colors right out of the box. You can also further calibrate it to match the exact color profile of your computer if you wish. This ultra-wide monitor measures 34 inches in diagonal length. I wish there was a 38-inch version for those who want something a little bigger. For me, 38 inches could have been the perfect size, even though some kick against using a curved monitor for video editing. Well, it all boils down to personal preference. I must point out that this monitor packs some really loud speakers, as even at its lowest possible setting, they just seem a bit too loud for me, but they don't possess good amount of clarity at high volumes, which is of course common amongst majority of other monitors. Our gaming performance was smooth and immersive as you would expect from a VA panel with 100Hz refresh rate. Definitely you would get an overall better gaming experience from higher end gaming monitors, but this does not fall too short behind. In terms of overall productivity to media consumption, this crushes through everything, from video editing to web browsing to gaming and watching movies. You have to bear in mind, as most multimedia contents have not adopted the 21:9 ultra-wide aspect ratio, you'll often see black bars by the side of the screen when watching most movies and playing games. Notwithstanding, there are still few video contents and video games optimized for the 21:9 aspect ratio, like some of the clips I just showed you. For those that need an ultra-wide monitor that is really capable of handling both productivity and gaming, this is definitely one to consider. So for those that use a MacBook or any other computers with a USB-C Thunderbolt port, this is one of the best compatible choices to get right now, so I highly recommend it. For pricing, you are looking at around $900 equivalent depending on your location, but its price could vary, so be sure to click the link down in the description section for current prices. I can say Samsung made a good attempt at producing an ultra-wide monitor that achieves a nice balance between productivity and entertainment. It's not perfect, but there is a lot to like about it. Feel free to check out other nifty gadgets on this channel. You've been watching Ezekielo TV. It's been a pleasure. See you in the next one. Adios.